Board of Trustees for order of experience with the call the roll.
Here. Mr. Carson?
Here.
Ms. Mulkey?
Here.
Mr. Marcinko?
Here.
Mr. Martin,
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 2, our current
Trustees, we have Mr. Trainer from ECISD, and I see he's brought a couple of students with him. Mr. Trainer?
Thank you, sir. First one, study hall, the pleasure is to be here tonight representing ECDC. Mr. Bryant, Mr. Powell, board members, community, welcome everybody. I did bring 2 special students here, and I have Haley and Maximus, and they're going to help us kick this meeting off with the pledge of prayer. So, did everybody please stand?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. My name is Kate. I pledge allegiance. Please bow your head.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessings and help as we gather together. We pray for your guidance in the matters at hand. Bless our gathering with unity, humility, and vision. We also ask that you guide our steps and strengthen our hearts these summer months. Allow us to grow in our knowledge and desire for the journey ahead. In your name we pray. Thank you all. I did prepare a little slideshow. I know a lot of people don't know what kind of goes on a day-to-day basis, maybe everywhere at ECEC. So I prepared a little slideshow. It's a road trip, but we're gonna be looking in the mirror. We're gonna look back at kind of some events that took place this last year at ECDC. We're going to get a look at some of the things, how we got started. Started off with some professional development. We have some teachers over there on the right-hand side doing some activities. These were all taken from some tweets that were posted throughout the year for ECDs, and so I just kind of cut some time-lapse and things that happened. Here was a collaborative effort with teachers from, pre-K teachers from across the district that came together over ECDC. This really wasn't the beginning of the school year, this kind of happened towards the end. I didn't tell you that, I'm not sure you would know that, so I guess I kind of weird. We had some celebrations. We had some celebrations with students, and this was our December snowball party for our behavior, a Texas snowball party. So we were in the gym with wadded up paper, and as you can see, they had obstacles and all kinds of stuff. And I was actually in the middle of it, and that's the picture on the right, the point of view of the principal of the snowball party. Teachers had a chance to celebrate as well at a post-Super Bowl luncheon. We also had a chance to celebrate Ms. Noble as our Teacher of the Year. Some more celebrations that went on outside. The students were doing a bubble party. Everybody got their own little individual bubbles and went outside and blew bubbles. And that one was kind of early in the year. We realized how difficult it was to blow bubbles at the point of the school year, but Later, we produced a global party, and we had much better success the second time. We had some guests visit our campus, and one of the first ones, the Pearsons, stopped by one day, and they wanted teachers to make it into every single classroom, and they all read the book. Quack Goes the Duck, if I remember correctly. So I want to thank Pearson for coming out that day. We had some athletes stop by during our college and career readiness week. Had some athletes stop by, we had ROTC stop by, several other high school groups trying to, FFA came by. I didn't have pictures of everybody that week, but I had a couple. I wanted to take time to share. Coach Hubbard even got a chance to sit down and read a book. We found him an adult-sized chair. I had a hard time in the kids' chair. I didn't think Coach Hubbard was going to make it. Curious George had a chance to stop by, and then on the right-hand side, I was outside doing duty one morning, welcoming parents, and I had a chance to see Mr. and Miss Santa Claus come in and drive into ECDC, so I had to get as a photo op if I've ever seen. Some outdoor learning that recently came together towards the end of the school year. Opportunities for kids. First picture on the left wasn't outdoor learning, obviously, but that's our PE class, and the students were doing yoga that day. So that's part of their PE. Coach Zapata over there on the left, you can kind of barely see him, but he's back there. On the right-hand side, there's an outdoor learning stage, and class was out there, and they were doing performances one day, reciting poetry, so that was a neat opportunity. Top left, we have some music going on. We have some pots and pans and some kitchen stuff out there, and wooden utensils that they can take and get a chance to make some noises and see what different pitches sound like. On the right-hand side is another stage later got moved to the front playground due to some problems with winds and stuff, so we moved into another theater opportunity out there. On the left, we have a camping center, and the students are outside camping. You can see their hot dogs and different things. There's a fire pit actually right there in front of it with no fire, charcoal, or anything, and no worries. But we did have a chance for everybody to cook some hot dogs and sit in their little teepee or tent and get a chance to have an afternoon lunch. And then that was just a really neat photo that our journalism department came around in the month of May. Ms. Rial sent me that picture. Couldn't pass that one. It was a good picture. There's some other outdoor learning. On the right-hand side, kids are working with the water station, and you can see the different funnels, and they're all different sizes, so they can pick up the water and go through the funnel and see how quick or how slowly the water will drain. They have little waterfalls there that they can spin around so that they can see the power of water. It gives them a chance, first-hand experience at the beginning steps and just some science. And of course, parents and community. It wouldn't be a complete school year if we didn't have parents and community. We started off the school year at the homecoming parade for our high school. And you can see some students there with their signs and participating parents in the background. I can actually have Mr. and Ms. Stewart back there on the far right-hand side. Some photo opportunities that we have with some of our superintendent students from throughout the year. So these photo pictures and all the parents came by and got a chance to come to the classroom and visit around the student with their rubber stickers. We had a math night and book fairy nights, and you can kind of see the book fairy over there. She has her wings on. She's kind of right there in the PowerPoint presentation. Reading restaurant, kids went around to different rooms and got to participate in different restaurants, have a cookie, have some different snack items with them, and share a book with their parents. I want to also thank Lowe's. Lowe's was responsible for donating a whole lot of items for our learning, so when I went to go pick it up, I have to thank the manager for Lowe's. So that was a good chance of kind of promoting Lowe's, and they did give us some donations here. Books for bingo, parents stopped by to play bingo with their students, and everybody walked out that night. Something I should have said Easter every year. Everybody got a chance to walk out that night with something. And then of course there's always the classroom fun. Wouldn't be a complete school year without the fun. And one of the more interesting lessons I saw this year was the letter sounds and musical chairs, and they do the music stops. Whoever was standing had to do a letter and a letter sound. So it's a fun way to put letters and some work together with the students. There's Quack Goes the Duck. Those were the items that they made with Pearson. Little duck feet, little duck hats, little duck beats came out of it. And then on the right hand side, just some opportunities for the students to engage in some activity. Of course, our guest parade on the left and on the right hand side, I want to give a shout out to Ms. Simpson. We had a professional development late school year where they were all about every moment of opportunity for learning moments. So they were walking down the hall, Ms. Simpson actually had students in transition doing an active movement. So trying to get the point across, every second's an opportunity to do something. Don't waste that second. So they're walking down the hallway, and she's giving command, tap your head, tap your right shoulder, tap your left shoulder, get that one in here. So give her a big shout out for that. That's the end of the slideshow. So many other wonderful events happened throughout the school year, but I just want to give a little experience of what happened tonight. I do.
Thank you for bringing those wonderful students out. That's quite a pair you have there. Our teachers in good hands. It looks like they managed to learn some things while having fun over at school.
Parents and family members are here. So we have the Stewarts in the back, Mr. and Ms. Stewart in the back, and y'all can stand up. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to have some awards and recognitions, and then as soon as we get through with that, we'll take a little break, and everybody who needs to go can go. But we've got some folks that we would like to recognize this evening, so if you would help us do that, we would certainly appreciate it.
Trustees, in the continuing the theme of programming for our youngest learners, the board has had a goal of really diving into early childhood education, and we've been doing that all year in anticipation of opening our new early childhood centers in 1920. And so with that comes a lot of training and development, and we're very, very proud of some staff members with their accomplishments in building their craft as early childhood educators. So, Ms. Coles?
Good evening, Mr. Toscano, members of the board, Mr. Bryant. Tonight we are very excited to recognize a group of our pre-K para-educators who have made a significant accomplishment. I'm going to call them each up one by one, and I'll give a little something about their accomplishment. First, we'd like to call up Jamie Ramirez from Pecan Valley Elementary School. Next, Norm Hidalgo from ECISD. Erica Escamilla from ECISD. Maria Nunez from ECISD also. Deanna Sears from ECISD. We have one other Miss Olivia Soto, who's also from ECDC, but she is actually in El Paso tonight. We're hoping to bring her out in August to recognize her. Tonight, we are recognizing our very first cohort of pre-K paraeducators to complete their Child Development Associate's degree in Early Childhood Education. In order to do so, they completed over 160 hours of professional development. They built a portfolio. They had to be observed by members of the Child Development Council. They had to become CPR and first aid certified, and then they had to pass a credentialing exam. We are super excited to have them with us tonight. The program was funded through a competitive education grant for pre-K programs offered through the City of San Antonio and pre-K for SA. And we want to recognize them for this outstanding accomplishment tonight. So congratulations. Family members, if they've got any family members here, they'll stand up and be recognized, family and friends. Thank you so much for coming out tonight, and congratulations.
That's some really good stuff. Thank you so much for going that extra mile and getting those credentials. It will mean so much to our kids in the future. I just can't tell you how pleased we are to have you do that. So this evening, we've had the opportunity to see some of our exceptional students come forward and show us what they know. And we've had some of our staff come forward with exceptional effort and show us what they're going to do in the future. You know, if this isn't where you want to be in East Central School District, I don't know where you want to be. So, thank you, everyone. And we're going to take a 10-minute recess right now. We'll reconvene at 7 o'clock. Let us come down and congratulate you, and then everybody go home and do your homework. Oh, wait a minute. Public hearings for optional flexible school day programs. Mr. President.
Mr. President, trustees, you're very familiar with this program as the district has adopted the OFSDP program for approximately a decade. And if you'll recall, it's a program that is approved by the Commissioner of Education. It is specifically designed for students who are at risk of not graduating or not graduating on time. And so it enables the district to use a flexible schedule to customize the experience for the students such that both the student can complete the requirements for graduation, regardless of the difficulties that they're having to overcome. But at the same time, the district can collect ADA, even though the child may or may not be in school every day or all day when they are there. So before the time that they are there, we want ADA underneath the OFSDP program. So the target for this program are generally overage students. Again, they're struggling to meet graduation requirements. And this is proven to be very successful at assisting us to accommodate the barriers in our schools that contribute to their circumstance. In your electronic package, on page 101 and 105, you may just want to note that if you want to look at the complete application, it details the nature of the program and specificity. This application you have to submit every year for approval. What you're looking at today is pretty much a public hearing on this past year's program. What I'm pointing to on page 101 and 105 is the application for next year's program. It's found in the consent agenda.
This is a hearing for that program, so if anyone would like to speak to the optional flexible school day program, this would be your opportunity. We have no one availing themselves out of that opportunity, so we will move on to agenda item 6, superintendent's reports. Report A is personnel report.
Trustees, this month's report begins on page 10. As you would expect this time of year, it's definitely more activity reflected in the report. This particular report will specify those who exited the organization, whether they retired, whether they were non-renewals. You'll also see an indicator for Spain. If you all know, we have a program, have had a program for several years where we bring in teachers to teach in our bilingual program who are from Spain. They're visiting teachers and they get a 3-year work visa. So those that are indicated as Spain, their work visas have expired. We also have resignations identified as well as those that are on dual contracts. And of course, those on dual contracts are typically coaches. So they have a dual assignment, teaching assignment, and a coaching assignment. So you'll see those reflected in there as well. The attrition that you see reflected in this month's report, when you look over the past 3 years, is very typical. We haven't necessarily reduced the attrition rate, but hadn't gotten, that went in the wrong direction either. And it's a very typical attrition rate. And later in the program today, you'll see when we present the community-based accountability report, when we talk about high-quality staff, there'll be a very specific representation of our teacher turnover rate over the past 3 years. And if you want to note that, it's found on page 63 in your electronic packet. Again, we'll point that out later in that agenda item. I also want to note that what you'll see next month in the personnel report is going to be really heavy on the new employee side. So you don't see any new employees on that side. Those positions have been filled throughout this month and they'll be reflected in the next month's report. So I just thought that was important because you see a bunch of employees that have left, but you don't see any new employees in the other column. That activity will be reflected next month.
What does it say, sir? What does it say, dual contracts?
Yes, all of those employees in the report this month are not coming back. So the ones that are identified as dual, those are the typical coaches. Dual teaching coaches.
And Spain, they're on that Spain.
Yes, sir.
So
We'll replace them.
Any other questions?
So the dual contract, and they're leaving service completely?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On some occasions, and I'm not doing it until next month, but on some occasions, a dual contract, the employee will resign the dual contract and they'll reapply for just a teaching position, and on occasion,
Yeah.
we'll be able to reemploy them. So you may see some of these duals show up in subsequent months.
Where they resign from the position, just specifically concentrate on.
Sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes.
All right, moving on to item B, maintenance department update.
This time trustees will call some of our maintenance department leadership who will Alonzo, Mr. Keith Ward, to present the board with an update on our maintenance department progress for the year. The report is in your electronic packet, it begins on page 15, or I believe you can turn around if you prefer, a little larger.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Scott, board members, thank you for allowing us to come tonight. The maintenance department goals, the maintenance department will support the academic learning environment by providing quality maintenance of all district facilities and grounds. The quality of this support will be measured by achieving a 95% completion rate of all work orders within 1 week of receiving the work order request. Under performance, during the fiscal year, maintenance and grounds department will support the district work and academic learning environment through a quality maintenance program by implementing daily and weekly grounds and maintenance priority tiered schedules, maintain project management, completion schedules, evaluate work orders daily, completing daily inspection reviews, ensure work order completion falls within a 3 to 5 day period pending external variables, while providing resources and training for all staff. Culture and climate. During the fiscal year, maintenance and grounds department will increase transparency, communication, and customer service satisfaction by maximizing staff visibility to schedule regular department and campus meetings using Google Work Sites, providing status updates with recurring feedback and follow-up and incorporating campus, academic, and special calendar events in planning. Under finance, during the fiscal year, the maintenance department and grounds department will continue to exercise financial responsibility through energy conservation protocols, preventive maintenance practices, using cost-effective, properly competitive bidding, evaluating growth and improvement replacement needs, while returning at least 3% or more of the 2017-18 allocated budget fiscal year end. Update on progress goals. Under performance, the ground schedule, grounds visits every campus weekly by adhering to a daily and weekly ground schedule by incorporating preventive maintenance as a priority focal point. Work orders are evaluated daily and recurring meetings conducted with frontline trade staff, reaching goal of completing work orders within 3 to 5 days, and that depends on external variables. Project management. Those facility management implemented staff leadership alignment, providing quality and efficient project management over numerous bond and capital construction facility projects. Manage general and bond spending to ensure the district taxpayers are getting the best quality while being fiduciary responsible. Planning phase to completion phase. Facility management conducting facility assessments and walkthrough with campus and department administration for summer project planning. Culture and climate. Facility management has maximized customer service, including staff visibility around campuses and departments. Recurring scheduled meetings with campus and department leadership are scheduled on lead calendars for increased customer service and feedback. Increasing communication by providing work order status updates to campus administrators and assignments. Proactively scheduling preventive maintenance and compliance inspections on calendar to inform all staff of mandatory by law work required during the year and summer to complete these. Fiscal responsibility, projecting to return at least 3% or more of unused funds, maximizing energy management program, reducing electricity, LED light conversions, installations, maximizing utility rebates, and DR participation. Maximize warehouse feasibility standardize and reduce in-house storage. Conduct due diligence by obtaining competitive purchase cooperative pricing, multiple quotes for compliance and price comparisons, and implementing replacement schedules.
Okay, in addition, to what Mr. Moore had to say, we provide some surveys to our district leaders, maintenance department, for the maintenance department. So a couple of things to self-report for is we receive 70% in service, communication, cooperation, and active listening, which is not too bad. That shows that we're moving and shifting to a positive direction, and no 1 ratings in the surveys, which is good. Something not to be so happy about. We also received 2s and 3s, 25 to 30% in the same service, communication, cooperation, and active listening. So some of the things we're going to do to try to improve this is instead of unscheduled meetings, start scheduling monthly meetings with our principals, staff leaders, increase communication, increase customer service, use school due to better help streamline work orders, and be more proactive, collaborative to come up with a better resolution. The next level of work priority, areas of opportunity for growing and success, customer service, increased proactive planning and facilities assessments, communication, power information meetings, Google site meetings, updates, shared drives, emails, reaffirmed management meetings, staffing and training, evaluate future facilities renovations and additions, decentralized frontline training leadership roles, emphasize on recruitment and retention of facilities management staff by evaluating market salary alignment, budget long-term planning, under budget long-term planning, extensive long-term planning, replacement schedules, by replacing equipment that's old and outdated, start replacing them in a more proactive way, keeping our equipment and our staff and everybody in the district a little more comfortable. Our scorecard, facilities management implements a scorecard. So goal 1 is to inspect and verify assignments, work order completions, and provide feedback. Us as leaderships, we're expected to do 10 a week for a total of 4 to 8 weeks. We exceed that. We've averaged 74 of these inspections at 184%, almost right at 185%, which is good, helps with communication. Increase the number of work orders completed per week. We complete the average of 185. Average work orders submitted is 184. That may seem a little skewed, but the reason 84 submitted versus 185 is because there's always work orders. By being proactive and seeing things out there, when we're out there working, providing submitting a little work, that work orders that don't come from schools this way. It seems a little skewed. Completed work with goal 3 is completed work orders. Work orders less than 5 days is a total of 52. Work orders greater than 5 days is 29. We average 72. And work orders 30 days plus, a total of 51. And this comes from ordering parts that aren't available or maybe not timely due to school and having to coordinate between Christmas, holidays, and certain times like that. So that's where the longer than 30-day work orders are made complete due to the circumstances like that. Have any questions?
Do I have any questions? I do have a question. One of your training areas of opportunity and growth was reviewing the decentralized frontline trade leadership program.
Yes. Yes. What we're trying to do is take some of our tradesmen and get them to do a little more of the leadership role. By doing so, they take a little more initiative and buy more into the program and see if they have a little more pride in what they do. So we're giving them a little more of the leadership role.
So the decentralized part of that statement tells me that they're not housed at your warehouse facility, they're
No.
actually out in the district?
No, absolutely not. What that means is we're giving them more of a management role, a leadership role in the department. For instance, HVAC, they're not just an HVAC technician, we're trying to make them more of a leading HVAC technician or an electrician or something like that. Give them a more leadership type role in the whatever trade they're in.
Thank you. Anyone have anything else? Thank you. Item C, 2017-2018 bilingual dual language program.
So by statute, trustees were required to provide the board with an annual program update for our bilingual dual language program. So coordinator of the program, Augie Garcia, will provide the board with the annual report.
Good evening, buenas tardes, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Toscano, and trustees and colleagues. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to be able to present today at the meeting on our bilingual programs. So I'm going to get started basically with just kind of giving you an overview of our population at this point. So our district population, this is all based on the 2016-17 taper report, is 10,206. Out of that number, the number of English learners is 1,036, which is 2.2%. Again, we've gone up 0.4%. The students enrolled in the bilingual programs is 1,536, which is 50%, and we're up 1.3% in participation. This includes the dual language program and the ESL program. I wanted to go over a little bit of the program goals to differentiate between both the dual language and ESL programs. And so these are as follows. So the goal of the dual language immersion program is to provide an opportunity for students to not only acquire the English, but to maintain the Spanish for those who are English learners, but also for our non-Spanish speakers to attain biliteracy in both languages. And this is via an enriched, rigorous academic program, which follows all the same standards, and this also helps them develop high positive cross-cultural competency. The other program that we have here that we serve, that also serves English learners, is the ESL program, or English as a Second Language program. And this is to address both, overall three, the effective linguistic and cognitive needs of English learners. And this is also an intensive academic program for English learners, and so that they can develop all four domains of learning and language. And this is again to develop their English proficiency only. So the big difference between the two is that one develops both languages, the dual language, and then the other one is just the one language, English. So the dual language program is housed, we have the one way, which is only our English language learners participating, and this is only at pre-K, which we currently have at ECDC, Pecan Valley, and Conklin. That will be embedded into the campuses next year that have pre-K programs. The two-way dual language immersion program is now at all campuses, K through 5th, Legacy Middle School, Heritage Middle School, and East Central High School. And so we continue this year to use our 80-20 model, where basically the 80% of the time is taught in the target language, in our case being Spanish, and then English is 20%. And every year, the English language development goes up until they reach 50-50 in 4th and 5th grades. I also want to say that our numbers are thriving. So every year we see an increase in enrollment and on waiting lists, and we have pretty much have had to do a lottery at every campus. And one of the reasons being that we, as the families come back and they have more siblings, we have this more participate. So we, and so do our employees, so that's a big makeup of our numbers as well. The ESO program differs again in that it serves our ELLs only. And due to the ELLs that are participating are two types. There are non-Spanish speaking students that may have had Spanish at one point. They suffered language loss because they came either from another district who were probably in an early exit program or in an ESL only program, or they're speakers of other languages. And so we basically again have ESL programs now also at our pre-K through 5th campuses, middle school and high school, and right now we have a total of 15 different languages in our district. Last year we had 12, so we saw an increase of 3 more languages coming in. And so again, this is our ESL program. So with that being said, one of the challenges that we've had, and a great growth opportunity actually, is the need to have more teachers to become ESL certified. So in an effort to meet the needs of our EL population and to stay in compliance with the state, we've made a concerted effort to support our current ECISD teachers to become ESL certified. And these include teachers who are either in elementary or monolingual English teachers who could be certified in ESL, and in middle school and high school, and as well as intermediate. These are content area teachers who will become sheltered instruction trained, meaning that they receive professional development in how to specifically develop English language and non-English speakers at that point. And so last year and this year, through the help of our Title III and federal grants program, we were able to offer an ESL preparation course here at East Central ISD for any teacher who wanted to get their certification. This was provided by Region 20. And they also, one of the great benefits that they also receive is as an employee, they can apply for the Employee Certification Financial Assistance Program, which is sponsored through the EC Foundation. And basically what that means is if they take the test and they pass it, they can receive up to 75% of reimbursement for the test if and when they stay within our district. So I wanted to provide some numbers in reference to how we're moving forward in trying to get our teachers certified. So last year was the first year, like I said, that we offered an ESL preparation and teacher support. So we had 14 teachers that attended the certification class. 9 of those actually took the test and passed it. We've had about 3 of those that left the district, so we couldn't track them anymore. They left, so we don't know if they passed or not, but they did leave, and there was a couple that decided not to take the test. And this year we had a total of 12 come to the classes in May, and the results are pending. And just this week I had 4 more contact me that they wanted to take the test. So one of the things that we're doing, since they did not get to attend the test, I'm currently preparing some prep test pieces. There's a website they can go to, and we're going to be offering them some support, as well as sending them the application for them to apply for the grant. So the other thing I wanted to share was, along with teacher preparation, is also how are our kids doing. And so one of the things that we look at to measure our students' growth in English language attainment is the TELPAS test, which is the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System. And as for the TELPAS results from last year, this year's is not out, it will be out till August. There was some changes, so we won't receive that till August. The overall district data indicates that there was a 3% increase in growth when compared to last year's results. And 50% of students in 3rd through 12th grade progressed 1 or more level from 2016 to 2017 on TELPAS. 50% of students in 3rd to 12th grade also progressed 1 or more levels the year before that. So in order to ensure that our English language learning population is continuing to grow, we committed to making sure that we provide the professional development for teachers to not just take the test and pass it and have them assume that they're ready to go, but to really provide some targeted professional development where they are able to acquire some research-based practices that offer the students linguistic and academic growth. Some of the things that we've done is with some observation, with feedback and coaching, and also curricular and, like I said, professional development resources to support them. So I wanted to share just a little bit about some of the other professional development that we have done, taking into consideration the 2 programs that we do have. So in line with our ESL and English language learners that are at the middle school and high school, we've also been working with our content area teachers to become sheltered instruction trained. Again, that sheltered instruction training provides specific strategies that target the acquisition of a second language. And from that group, we also worked with Region 20 and one of their coaches, and they pulled a small select group of content area teachers at the high school, the middle, and the 2 middle schools. So that's one of the PDs that we've been doing for that. We also added this year El Dictado, which is an approach that focuses on developing the students' writing skills in content-based settings. And so we've been seeing some really great results with how students are taking the oracy to the writing piece. We've also done a lot of training, a lot of professional development on Spanish reading and language arts. We had a consultant that focused specifically on how reading and writing is learned in Spanish, which is different from how we did a 3-part sheltered instruction series provided to our paraprofessionals. I have been working with our paraprofessionals so that as they do push in and work with our content area teachers, they have specific strategies to work with the students as well. And then we had some Spanish literacy development for administrators, an overview of the new program that we're going to be having for this coming year, and connecting language and content for our English learners. We had a 1-week Institute of Region 20 lesson. We talked a little bit, you mentioned the SPAY teachers earlier, so I just wanted to give you a little bit more of an update on that. So during this past year, we had a total of 8 SPAY teachers serving in our district. And this year, for this coming year, we'll have a total of 4 that will be left. 4 have 3 have been completed, have completed their 3 years, and 1 is not returning for personal reasons. And so this year was the 3rd and final year for this first cohort, and this year we did not apply for the same visiting teachers program, correct? So just some of the accolades that I wanted to lift up here was to just say that this year was the fourth cohort of dual language students from the class of 18 that graduated. There were about 18 students that graduated with their senior year, started all the way from kinder, or came in somewhere in between. The Central Independent School District was also a national and statewide dual language program model and was featured as an official site by the Region 20 World Language Conference in the fall of 2018. So we had several individuals come and visit our ESL programs at the high school and some of our elementary campuses as well. This year, I'm proud to report that we reached a zero, which is a good number in this case, in bilingual teachers meeting exceptions. What that means is that we were able to fill all of our positions. And we are grateful to you and to Mr. Toscano for allowing us to do some, and working with our HR department, and working to kind of hire some teachers in the middle of the year who are ready to move in. And that's actually been a great practice because that also allows us that if something happens in the middle of the year, which we have, or a teacher leaves or is ill, we have a certified teacher in place. And then also, we've also had several teachers this year that have been invited to present at several conferences. So they're not only taking the professional development that they're learning here, but they're now presenting and leading others in sheltered instruction. They're going to be presenting at UTSA this summer as well. And finally, we do have an increase of number of teachers at the elementary level receiving their ESL certification. So that leads to a decrease in denying services, which was a big challenge a few years back, where if we didn't have ESL certified teachers, and if the dual language was not a good fit for them, they were having to deny services, which made us kind of put us out of compliance. And so now we have some campuses where there is zero denial, so we're very happy with that. And that's all I have. I don't have any questions.
Any questions?
I was curious, the reason that we didn't apply for the Spain visiting teachers program grant is correlated to the accolades and to the, it looked like we were kind of spinning down from 8 to like 4 teachers and that we graduated the last 4 years of those students. So I guess my point is there's no need to apply for this again. Is that, am I understanding that?
One of the things that we're trying to do is to grow our goal and really find some great partnerships with our universities. And the other thing is to we invest and we develop them, but they do need to go back. And so we're trying to find other ways to do that. And I know we can, we've done a good job. And I feel very confident that we're going to find those teachers that we partner with universities and so on. So yeah.
Well, obviously we're nationally known and we're going out to others. We're reaching that. That's amazing.
Back in the earlier report of it, you said, of course, the dual language immersion program, one way, dual language immersion or immersion program. One way meaning.
Oh, that's a great question. So the one way means there's one population. Those are our English language learning students that by law we need to service so that they can acquire English. So we only have English language learners in that classroom. In the two-way dual language, we have our English language learners, and then we also have those students whose parents want them to acquire English and Spanish. So there's two populations, so that's why it's called two-way.
And then again, you said we have 15 different languages?
15 different languages. I can't name them all, I can name most of them.
Well, so, and at that point, we then have to have teachers. I mean, is this considered the language also, or those classes, or is it just, that's an elective class?
No, actually, that's a great question. So we have the languages that we teach, like at middle school and high school, like languages other than English or world languages. So these are students who, for example, if I speak Japanese or German, so my goal is to learn English because I don't have a dual English Japanese course, right? So the state says that we need to provide them the way to learn the English language, and so that's where the ESL comes in. So the English as a second language course is basically their vehicle to attain English language proficiency.
How do those students communicate with their teachers? That's Mr. Toscano. We have 15 different
Yes, that's more sheltered instruction training. So what sheltered instruction training is, there's very specific strategies that teachers use. That's one part. The other part that we're trying to provide them with is theory of second language acquisition. How does the brain work and how do students function as they're trying to acquire a second language? By marrying both the understanding of second language acquisition and the strategies, we're able to help the teachers communicate in nonverbal ways as well, by using pictures, by using body language, and and then the other part is the effect that they can feel comfortable building a relationship so that they don't feel threatened by the language, they don't understand it.
What challenges do you come across with their parents? For example, I'm sure they have homework.
Yes.
How are their parents supposed to, I'm sure we provide them with resources to help.
Yes, so one of the things that we've done is that we've purchased some bilingual dictionaries in the home language and the English language. Teachers have a lot of times trying to create their own flashcards. We try to have, one of the things that I've also done is reach out to Region 20, because the bigger districts that have 40-something languages sometimes have resources, so we try to look at those. That is one of the areas, to be honest with you, that we really need to go on, is how do we prepare for all the students that are coming with different languages. So finding some things that are not used in that we're trying to.
We're providing these kinds of resources
Oh,
for the flashcards, like you said, I mean, they're not having to put the bill out of their pocket.
well, I will tell you, as much as we can find out there is a budget specifically for materials and resources, so if they are available, yes. Sometimes they'll have to create their own, it's, they'll use paper or it's parts that are in the school or whatever, so we try to not have them do something that they will be able to create from the supplies that are.
Also, trustees wanted to point out, Dr. Garcia is created a task force. She'll be leading through the fall. Beginning late this summer will be the first time that they'll assemble. In your miscellaneous packet, there's a yellow front and back document. You may have seen it before the meeting. And it's titled ECISD Dual Language Program. As you guys know from the board goal setting workshop, one of the areas that we're interested in really researching and considering other possible designs is our dual language program. And so that task force is going to give the district some feedback. These are students who have completed the program, currently in the program, parents whose children have finished the program, currently in the program, staff who teach within the program. And what we want to know is how can we make this program even better, and what considerations might we consider. And so the goal of this is to keep you guys informed through the fall, with the idea that the recommendations from the task force will be brought to the board for consideration in January in the form of a proposal for what we may consider doing next. And so there's some very specific information in here, and again, I'll keep you guys posted throughout the fall as we get closer to that January proposal.
Item E is the ESSA Consolidated Federal Grant Application. I missed the audience question on item D. So we're going to move to the community-based accountability.
So, Mr. President, trustees, as you're well aware, community-based accountability system is something that the district has undertaken. We did pull a community group together. We met 3 times over the course of this year. And their charge was to give the district feedback, specifically what do you want the district to accomplish. And based on what they presented, they identified 3 pillars, as you're aware. They spelled out what it is they expect the district to accomplish in those very 3 specific areas. We also know that school accountability is a responsibility of the local community, not the state of Texas. And so this is the district's first attempt to present the board with a community-based accountability report. In your packet, beginning on page 34, running through 76, is a complete report of our findings for the first three pillars. And so that's there for you to review. And I know the community has already taken a look at that. What we'll be presenting tonight are the findings that we prioritized and subsequent goals and action plans for our next level of work in order to move our performance forward. Ms. Hertz?
Good evening, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Toscano, members of the board. We've been working on this report for you for about the last 2 months. As you see in your report packet, there's a lot of information there that we have determined for the 3 pillars. In your attachment, each of the 3 pillars has a narrative and then some specific data. So that's kind of how that is set up. What we did was we divided into 3 groups and kind of 4 to 5 people on each of those committees to really dig into the information that we have on those pillars and on the data that we could and try to answer those key questions that the committee had come up with back in the fall. And so each of those committee leads are going to report to you tonight on the pillar that their group really dug into and give you some highlights and also what we're going to do moving forward. And so we have Amanda Holman and Jennifer Casper and Ashley Colas that will be presenting each of those pillars to you now.
Good evening, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Toscano, members of the board, and our colleagues that are here with us tonight. I'm Amanda Holman. I am the Director of College and Career Readiness for the district, so I will be talking about post-secondary readiness and the findings that we have there. So the pillar function for post-secondary readiness obviously falls in line with that of our profile UC grad, and that our school district schools will prepare our students for citizenship, gainful employment, success in any post-secondary opportunity that they have, and for the looking for the real world when they exit our doors at the end of their student year. So what we've done is that each pillar is broken down into some sub-pillars, which will notice in your packet. The first sub-pillar that I'm going to discuss is readiness to make a meaningful living. Some of the highlights that we found as our committee started to investigate these findings was these are all based off of the most recent data that we've been able to collect from the district. So we currently have 427 students who have industry validated certifications this school year. We have developed and maintained 35 current education business partnerships. We define that as either a memorandum of understanding is in place with that business. We conducted a job shadowing there. We've held meetings with those individuals who come to the campus for advisory councils and such. We have 72% of our students are taking at least one current education course, and then 65% of our high school students create medication enrollment with parent sequence of CTE courses, which is defined as 3 or more credits, 3 or more courses for 2 or more credits during their high school career. Our second pillar of post-secondary planning and execution, one huge highlight of this now is our students' DCO graduating at an all-time high of $3,078,286 in scholarship awards as of graduation date. So that was a really exciting. We also had 60% of our seniors that indicated to us through exit interviews that they had a post-secondary plan ready either going to college or military, trade school, vocational school, 2-year college, or 4-year university. Going into our third subpillar, readiness for citizenship and civic duty, one of our big highlights for this year was the implementation of service learning district-wide and a challenge for each campus to conduct a service learning project. We did have 562 students participate district-wide from kindergarten through 12th grade in district service learning projects. The next subpillar I'd like to discuss with you is readiness for college, career, and or military. One finding that we had was the percent of our seniors who are indicated college ready by SAT standards, ACT standards, and TSI standards. So you'll see that we have 23% who are indicated college ready by SAT, 13 according to the ACT standards, and 23% on TSI. The last subject that we want to is closing the gaps, all means all. This year, due to the growth that we had from our NMC grant, we were able to administer 1,352 AP exams. We are waiting on those results, we should be in next month. We also noticed that we have the percent of our demographics that are in pre-AP or AP courses at the middle school or high school levels. We have 15 students that are identified as Asian in the district. 11 of them are enrolled in either one of these 2 options courses, which results in 73% of our Asian students. 24% of our African American students are enrolled in AP courses. 29% of our Hispanic students. 34% of our white students, and 34% of our students who are identified with 2 or more races are enrolled in AP or pre-AP courses. So moving forward from there, we took the data that we collected and we created some goals to help us increase our post-secondary readiness for our students. The first goal we have is to increase our number from 60% of students who are enrolled in comprehensive courses to 68% by 2020. We also have a goal to increase post-secondary plan education to 73% of seniors by the year 2019. We would also like to increase our domain 1 post-secondary readiness score by 20% by the class of 2021, which as you're aware, that's going to be kind of changing as we move forward our domain 1 scores. And then closing the gap on students enrolled in the academic courses. So by 2020, we would like to see that 35% of students identified as African American are enrolled in 3 AP or AP courses. 40% of students who are Hispanic, 40% who are white, and 40% who identify as 2 or more races. So last thing I'd like to share with you is our action plan to accomplish these goals. The first thing I'd like to do is to work very diligently on creating early awareness for opportunities at the high school. We've been working on this through career days, career fairs at all grade levels, pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, exposing our students to teachers at elementary, intermediate, and middle schools, as well as we need to involve the parents in this assessment. And then purposeful and deliberate conversations with 8th grade students before course selection occurs, so that the students can begin early on in their high school career with courses that are going to make a meaningful difference to their post-secondary plans. The next thing we'd like to do is develop opportunities for high school students to see their potential. One thing that we'll be implementing is we're going to ask that all 10th graders take the TSI. Notice this is where they have the most success. It correlates most of the students with courses that are taking from mathematics at that time. And so we feel that most of our students in 10th grade would be most beneficial for TSI readiness. All 11th graders will also going to ask to take the ASVAB, which is a military-based exam, but it's an aptitude test that provides a lot of data and feedback back to the student on career opportunities and inspiration. So we'd like to be using that. We'd also like to work very closely with educating our counselors, students, and parents on the benefits of college prep English and math courses, because that is one of the most important indicators for post-secondary readiness. The last thing we'd like to do is increase the number of students who enroll in and successfully complete advanced coursework. We'll be developing AP potential conversation plans for middle school students and parents to discuss how the students can move forward and be successful. Some of our students don't think that they can be successful, but it's just because no one is having a conversation with them. We also like to help students to understand the challenge and the value of creating courses. Definitely want to understand what they're going into courses. We also look at our district and campus teams to help support the campuses and students through parent engagement when it comes to post-secondary plans and planning for the student success. You may be aware that all students next year in the 8th grade will be taking Algebra 1. And then we are also going to be using a science pre-AP track following a free biology format. So our students will be not necessarily enrolled in biology, but they'll be using free biology format to prepare them to be more successful in Asian college. So that is all that we have for post-secondary readiness. Do you have any questions? Is that okay?
One of your goals was to increase the participation by 20% in the year, by the year 2021. I'm a little concerned that there's not any intermediate goals in there. We finished in the 2018 school year, we got 19 and 20, and then you're going to check that again. So I think we'll all try and use the SMART acronym for our goals, sustainable, measurable, those kind of things. So while a 20% increase over 3 years is pretty good, if you're not measuring that in between time, I'm not sure that you're going to be prepared if you're 15% below, by 2019, when you're going to be making that huge percentage. And that's not a question you need to answer tonight, it's just an observation. At this point. I know you all have done an awful lot of work on this, but this is one of those things that I look at. It looks like you have some great work going on. I mean, you got 65% of students taking the coherent sequence, and your goal is 68. You're almost there. So that's great work. In your stated objective to get the campuses to help you show the value of pre-AP and AP courses, I would encourage you to go out in the community, not have those at high school. Bring the parents in the legacy, don't wait until they get to high school and get pushed out into the community.
If I may, just to clarify on the increase in the W1 post-secondary learning score by 20% to the class of 2021, that is the TEA accountability rating for W1 reason. So that data is going to be, it's going to be data from prior years. So we did go to 2021 because we'll be collecting data a year back, if that makes sense. So we'll be collecting data next school year from this school year for that post-secondary learning score.
Okay, great. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you very much.
I'm Jennifer Casper, and I'm the coordinator for curriculum and professional development. And I have the pleasure of working with some of our dynamic team members to kind of tackle quality and commitment of staff. So I'm taking you back there. So the pillars function is the ECISD leadership will ensure the highest quality workforce to provide the best possible student outcomes for the East Central community. And following Dr. Holman's suit is the exact same format of our slides. So the first sub-pillar is the staff impact on students. And so based on current grade level course enrollment, we have 99% of our students on track to graduate. So we looked at this piece of data a little bit differently rather than just relying on STAR data. We looked at what percentage of our students in the high school right now are enrolled in their grade level courses that should be enrolled in. We also really paid note to the fact that our attendance rate for staff is 81%. This includes personal and sick days only, not days that they're filled out for professional development. So it's something to cover our eye. And the subpillar for character of the staff member, 94% of staff members report that all stakeholders are expected to meet high standards of expectations. 62% of staff members reported that everyone treats each other with respect. This one caught our eye mainly because we didn't feel that there was enough data to really analyze what that meant. The survey itself didn't lend itself to tell us what everyone meant. Is it staff to staff, students to staff, staff to students, that kind of thing. So that's a piece we're going to look at when we set our goals and our action plan. With regards to staff training and development, the CIA department keeps a scoreboard. We track weekly how much time our professionals, directors, coordinators, specialists spend on campus working with campus administrators and teachers. So our goal for this year was to be at 42% and 40%. And in the fall, we're at 42% of our time being spent on campuses supporting the staff, and this spring we reached 46% of that. And then we also looked at the professional training and professional learning opportunities available. We had more than 150 consultant days across all grade levels, all departments, bringing in specialists to work with teachers and staff. We had over 450 our internal support system. And then we had 4 full days of planning for every single teacher in the district. And those days are also utilized for our paraprofessionals to attend staff development. So that was a nice add for us. In the subpillar of staff empowerment, based on survey results, 96% of staff feel that they serve in a leadership role, and those roles span from anything like being a department lead or grade-level chair, all the way up to serving on regional, state, and national board leadership positions outside of the district. 62% of staff feel that they have the necessary resources to impact learning. This was another one that caught our eye that we wanted to dig into a little bit deeper because we weren't quite sure what they meant by resources. Is it a capital resource like a textbook or manipulative speech in the classroom, or was it having availability for professional development and support? So we have a piece of that in our action plan as well. We looked at the next subpillar of capacity of staff to relate to student needs. And we really looked at our response to intervention data here. So right now, we have 94% of our students being screened in reading and 93% of our students being screened in math. And that happens 3 times a year. And what that allows us to do is really get some data on where students are in regards to reading and math, who are our lowest functioning students at that time, and we can do some diagnostic data to really pinpoint where their foundational needs are, and then put them into supplemental intervention programs that address those needs and start closing the gap. And so it's a highlight for us that, so many challenges that happen with screening all of our students all the way through high school, but we reach those numbers this year 3 times a year, really able to track their progress. In regards to highly qualified staff, you can see the percentages of our staff members that are holding the appropriate certification for the populations that we're serving. So we're at 100% at ECISD, Harmony, Blue Forest, John Glenn, Macomb Valley, and Sinclair, and 98% at Crest, 84% at Solano, 88% at Heritage, 96% at Legacy, and 96% at High School. And then we also looked at our retention rates that were 17 and 18, we're at 84% faculty retention rates. So something that caught our eye that we really want to elaborate on in our our goals, kind of hovering up and looking at all of those pieces of data and even more elaborate pieces that are in our handouts as well. We'd like to increase the staff attendance from 89% to 92%. We talk a lot about students can't learn if they're not sitting in the seats, and so it's kind of that same mantra that our teachers have a hard time impacting students if they're not there with the students to be able to impact them. We want to increase the staff reporting of respectful behavior from 62% to 70%. We'd like to increase the staff reporting of having resources to impact learning from 62 to 70%, and increase the faculty retention rate from 84% to 87%. So we even covered up a little bit more about that. We kind of thought about over the years that our district has worked really hard in implementing systematic approaches to academics, to behavior, climate, and culture. And so we're seeing those things in place, but some of our data is showing that we're not seeing the benefits of some of that yet to the degree that we would like to. And so our kind of big idea is moving from that initiation of putting systems in place to the institutionalization of systems and making sure that they're working like a well-oiled machine. And so to that end, some of the things that are on our action plan include increasing the self and collective efficacy of staff members in regards to implementing academic and behavior systems. So they have the confidence that they themselves can make an impact and that collectively their team can make an impact, they're more likely to make an impact. And so that kind of even goes back to ensuring that they have the resources that they feel that they need, that they know how to access the resources, they know how to use them, they know how to implement them. It's kind of a multifaceted approach. We'd like to increase the specificity of some of the survey questions that will allow us for that deeper analysis. Some of those low lights on the surveys, we just couldn't get down to the nitty-gritty of why they felt that way or what exactly they were talking about. So I think if we can get some more specificity around that, we can target in a little bit more closely on action items. We want to use our district and campus meetings to involve all members in the PLC work, that professional learning community process, so that we at the district level are serving as a model for how campuses can replicate that work and utilize that collective voice to
move their goals forward on our campus. We want to strengthen campus tier 1 systems for academic behavior. So in many cases, we have the system in place, but there might be some hiccups along the way with how things are implemented, followed through, maintained, things like that. So we've got the systems off the road and running. Now we just need to kind of maintain and strengthen some of those systems. And then our last bullet point is strengthening the induction system. And so we're really trying to target that retention rate of staff members there. And so in the past, our induction system has mostly focused on just zero-year teachers, and those teachers that were coming over from Spain, and really just teachers. And so we've expanded that to all departments, instructional, maintenance, clerical, all that. We're introducing a ramped up buddy system next year that will support those teachers that come in that already have some experience, that are already acclimated into our school district. And so we're just going to really work on what we can do to make sure those teachers have the support when they need when they get here, so that we can keep them trained and keep them long term. Any questions?
Yeah, 62% of the teachers said they had researchers to get baccalaureate. Why do you think that number should, you think it should be higher, all right?
I do think we should be
So if you do any research, any data to find out what do they need to increase that number?
We've not done anything collectively. That's one of our goals for next year, is for us to be more specific in that question, maybe then add some more options so we can really pinpoint. Some of the things that we've seen kind of across the board, sometimes they'll get an influx of resources, but just because of time constraints, they don't dive into the resources, so sometimes they sit on the shelf, or they don't feel comfortable using the resources, and so they'll revert to something else that they have. In some cases, they feel they don't have the resources, so we're putting in systems to, every year when we hear a group say, hey, we have a gap, we don't have resources that we need, then we start looking for outlets in order to fill that gap. But we are committed to getting some more specific data so that we can really pinpoint and try to boost that program.
Yes. Yes, we can afford it.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
I believe it does, because the question on the survey didn't necessarily say whether it was academic or behavior. That is actually something that we've spent a lot of time thinking about and working on this year. We'll be implementing some new resources for behavior, some social skills curriculum. Our staff members that work in those tier 2 systems for behavior have commented that they kind of get through all the lessons that they've already had, and then they're kind of at a loss for what to do next. So our team that works with behavior and our behavior specialists is kind of crafting some lessons and getting them out there. And we just purchased a new resource that we'll be training all campuses on in August that will have some more resources.
And this 62% is district-wide, right?
It's a trend for the teacher to go up or go down. What is the next years?
Actually, don't have the answer to that right now. It might
It's
be
in
the
your,
slide.
it's in your
Not
electronic
sure.
packet. This is a summary report. Your packet has a complete report. And I believe it's 84% this year, and it was 83% last year, and 84% the year before, so trending consistent. Also, Mr. Mulkey, to the survey question, actually, it's not just the teachers, it's the maintenance employees, custodial employees, child nutrition workers, it's every employee in the district that responds to that question. So we do need to dig deeper now and find out where are those pockets of staff members that feel they don't have the resources to do their job. We don't have that information. So one of our findings is we need to get that information so that we can dissect it and get to the root of the problem and solve the problem. So one thing I want to make sure I point out about this is it's not necessarily good or bad. It's what catches our attention, or so that we need to dig deeper to find out what's going on, or what is it that we can't answer, so that we can put systems in place in order to be able to answer that. So this is about trying to determine the degree to which we're achieving what the community expects, and looking at all the different kind of information that we have, information that we've got to produce, begin to monitor, and then making wise decisions that actually make a difference. The information that you'll see when we provide the state's accountability report doesn't indicate any of these things, as you know. So it doesn't really inform any of the work that really drives improvement in the district. So this is our first try. 2 months worth of a team just to produce this, and what they discovered more than anything, I think, is there's a lot of information we don't have to make a wise decision.
Good evening again. I had the pleasure of being the committee chair for the team of people that looked at the student safety and well-being pillar. And our pillar function for that pillar is each ECISD campus will provide an environment that ensures students feel accepted, safe, and supported both emotionally and physically. So some findings under our sub-pillars. Under student physical well-being, we found that 100% of campuses and departments have completed their required safety drills. And that's actually for the last several years. And 100% of our campuses have adopted a tiered behavior system with common language. And I will say that around that, the district has adopted all of the best practices that are advised to us by TASB, TEA, and the Texas School Safety Center. And between the campuses and the departments, they've been very diligent in getting all of that done annually. We had 75% of students state that they felt safe at school. We had 58% of students state that everyone at this school treats each other with respect. So just like Jennifer said, we have some questions around that. Exactly what specifically are we talking about when we say respect? We definitely know that we want to delve into that, and we have some work to do around actually both safety and respect. And so here in a minute, we're going to talk about goals and action plan. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We found that there were 5,326 discipline referrals written related to safety district-wide this school year. And I do want to clarify for the board how we count referrals. There are two different ways. There are certain referrals that are reportable to the state that we must report through PEEMS to the state of Texas. And it's what we're judged on, basically. There's another group, as we break things down a little bit more, that are not reportable to the state. So, for example, the difference between like profanity. Profanity is not reportable to the state. However, threats, harassment, the more serious offenses are the ones that are reportable to the state. Additionally, the action that we take could make a referral reportable to the state. So if we get a good lunch detention, we have to take them out of replacement. That's not reportable to the state if it was an offense also that was not reportable to the state. We have other actions that we might take that remove a child from class, such as ISS or out of school suspension. Those are, or DAP, those are reportable to the state. Rebound placements reportable to the state. So there's a total number that we count in the educator handbook that we use to look at data across the board. Where is it happening? When is it happening? Who is it happening with? And I'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. And then there's all of our data that's state reportable. So it's more of your minor offenses or the total number, and then everything that's reportable to the state is most of your more serious offenses. So we do count them in two different ways. But we do look at all the data to analyze it and make some decisions and take some action. So I'll go on with the next one we're going to move on that.
Which number is this?
The 5,326 referrals that are related to safety were the total big number, everything from chewing gum, possibly, probably don't write it, chewing gum anymore.
You say safety, that's better.
It could be out of that could be, that's considered unsafe. Like if you're tardy, you're not accounted for. You're in the hallway, that's not where you're supposed to be. That's unsafe, you know? So it could be, these are minor, that's everything. So it could be charges that are there, scuffling, verbal altercation, like the two kids that I do. So that's what.
I never broken down by like review offenders.
Yeah, we can break this, we do break it down like that, in the educator handbook. We can actually look at each child on every campus across the district and find out exactly how many referrals, where they're getting in, what time of day, what they are for, who writes them up. So it's a really great tool.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Look at that.
So moving on to our next subpillar, student social and emotional well-being. So the district owns and has purchased and is utilizing multiple resources for students that focus on social and emotional learning. And social emotional learning, that's getting along with others, self-control, being able to identify how you're feeling and responding appropriately. It's all of those things that people need to have in order to get along with others, okay? So the total number of referrals this year, district-wide, this is total, minor offenses, if they got written up for chewing gum, if they got written up for tardy, if they got written up for, on the bus, everything was 8,716 district-wide. Something else that stood out to us in this data was that only 9% of our office referrals that were addressed were addressed with restorative actions in addition to punitive actions. So punitive action is one of those that my dad used to call it, so that you will remember, right? And restorative is rebuilding the relationship. And although we've been doing a lot of work around utilizing both of those things and restoring the relationship as a consequence so that you will remember, and then that restorative action will rebuild the community and reestablish the child into the group. We've been doing a lot of work around that, but it was very interesting to see that only 9% of referrals were addressed with a restorative action documented with it. So that was a very interesting finding. We also found that 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students received the greatest number of referrals across the district. So that's, I did my New Year's probably there, I think I should get some back combat pay for middle school. Next, our next subpillar is staff training and student education. So our findings were that 90% of our staff, and that's 1,378 employees, 90% of our staff completed 100% of the safe schools training, which for a lot of our staff, that's over 20 hours. We have a lot of training, so that's great. I mean, I know we're not supposed to judge, but I was kind of proud of that. So 100% of campus participation in student drug awareness education programs, and 100% of campus participation in student digital citizenship lessons, and 100% campus participation in student personal safety lessons, and 90% campus participation in our student bullying and harassment lessons. And those are some very intentional lessons that are, you remember, it's 1 or 2 lessons across the year that happen every month. So 2 or so for the drug awareness that kids across the district get if they're not in elementary, also in there. And then campus participation in the digital citizenship, that's like every kid gets a lesson or 2. So there's like 1 a month or so across those ideas right there for safety and security. And then the next pillar is support services for staff, students, and families. So our EC Cares, which is our trauma-informed team, and that run together and identify and support students. They identified and supported 802 students who have suffered trauma at some point in their lives. So that's not a number of students for this year. That's a number of students that we've identified who say they're an 8th grader, but they parents in a car like they were in second grade. We kept track of that and know that that child is grandparents and suffered a traumatic event. So we've identified 802 students across the district who suffered a trauma at some point in their life. It didn't have to be just this year. There were 77 dropouts recovered, which is tough work. That's a lot of kids, and Mr. Hernandez and his team go out. They enlist the support of people around the district. They go out, and they beat the streets. They are hopping fences. They are trying to through the mud. They get chased by dogs. They get threatened. They get killing. They scared up 77 dropouts this year. Then they made, in addition to that, they made 232 home visits that were recorded. And provided 223 support services to students, and that can include anything from transportation, clothing, meals, bus passes, emergency shelter, supplies, things like that, to students who were in need of families that were in need. And then they identified 277 homeless students and served them with school. So, whenever our students are identified as homeless, they're eligible for. It could have been transportation. We don't transport necessarily all of them. Parent provides transportation, maybe they're out of our district. So it could have been transportation for some. Could have been, they're all eligible for free lunch. So they do that. We generally help them with school supplies, clothing. So there are a number of different ways. We also are eligible for additional tutoring to offer up for them as well. So it varies. We have a large spreadsheet that keeps track of how each child was served. So I could give you the rundown if you'd like. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want to know, that we do keep track of each service that we provide. So goals around student safety and well-being pillar. We decided to go with a 5% increase next year for students to report that they feel safe at school. We'd like to see that number go up by 5% for students feeling safe at school. 5% increase in the percentage of staff and students reporting respectful behavior. So we want to delve into that a little bit more. We would like to have a 20% increase in office referrals that are addressed with both a restorative action in addition to that punitive consequence. So we feel like that's reasonable because at this point it's 1 in 10, a little less than 1 in 10, so we thought we could get to 3 in 10 pretty comfortably. We would like to ensure that 100% of students are receiving Tier 1 social emotional instruction. We've had a few pickups we found at the secondary where we've got kids who are maybe in a reading class, an extra reading, class or an extra math class. They're got an academic need, and so during the time that other kids are getting that social emotional lesson, those kids are over getting reading math, so they're not getting the social emotional instruction. We want to make sure that all kids receive that social emotional instruction. Then we'd like to decrease the number of office referrals received by the middle school students by 10%. So currently, total for the year, 4,017 office referrals received by middle school age kids, 6,900. And next year, the goal is to get that down to only 3,615. How are we going to do? So our action plan. In order to address the feeling of safety, we are going to be enhancing our safety training, utilizing the ALICE program to promote a feeling of personal safety for staff and students. I'm really excited. We did this training, John and I did about 2 weeks ago, and it's very empowering, and I'm really excited to share it with staff members who did training at the central office this week, and actually 2 trainings, and got very good feedback from it. So really excited about it. We're going to be rolling that out this year for staff and students. Then we're going to be working with secondary principals to guarantee the consistent use of building protocols and procedures to increase safety on campus. We are going to train staff on the new social skills intervention system and promote its use. That was purchased this year to be rolled out for next year. We're going to be training staff on the importance of social emotional learning and all of the available resources. We're going to reschedule when Tier 1 social emotional learning skills are taught at the middle level so that every student receives that instruction consistently. We're going to create peer mentoring opportunities at Heritage and Legacy for these high school students. We've already got several groups really interested in doing their service learning projects over at the middle schools, being mentors to some of our kiddos at the middle level. We're going to create job-embedded collaborative time for assistant principals and counselors to plan for students who don't meet expectations in multiple areas to improve academics, behavior, and social emotional awareness. So those are the kiddos where we see that, they're not passing their classes, they get in a lot of arguments and disagreements, they're in the office a lot, they just struggle. So we're going to create some time embedded to work with our counselors and assistant principals on using both that possibly punitive and restorative piece as we work with those students who struggle. Then we've also created a student intervention team, and we're going to be working next year, being present and helping plan services for students when assistant principals and counselors meet and want to be there. We're still working out how exactly we're going to roll that out with principals. I'll be working on that in the next couple of weeks, getting the principals and figuring out exactly how we're going to do that. But we're going to be intervening with helping them make sure that we understand all the services available and that we are responding and helping them with everything that we can do for kids who, have a lot of issues with high referral rates, low academics, and struggle with that social emotion. Any questions?
I just want to thank you for that, because I know a lot of our students backed out because there's much going on at home.
Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
need to understand better.
Actually, how many 5 years are required per semester?
We are required 1 a month and 2 in the month of August. We have to do one in the first 10 days of school. So they're drilling.
We drill once a month.
We drill once a month, yes, sir.
How do you verify that the campuses are doing it?
The canvases report to Mr. Hernandez, and Mr. Hernandez keeps a checklist. They also call in central offices. We do our call chain every time they have a drill. So Miss Becky out of John's office keeps track of all of their drills, and they report it to her. They keep a log and they turn it in the immediate.
And the drills evaluated on how quick they got out and, we
Yes.
perform and we can prove that you're doing those.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Do we ever do a 5 drill one much time?
So sometimes whenever a student pulls the fire alarm, so that is something that we have discussed multiple times. Yes, we do. It's generally not a plan for the I'm going to be very honest. But yes, we do have the opportunity to do that during lunch.
Lockdown. Per semester or what?
We do that once a semester. We lock down once a semester. Practice that drill once every semester now. And I'm really excited. We're going to start using the Alice program, which is an enhanced lockdown, and we're going to be training kids. So we may be practicing that a little more often. We're going to talk about that too.
Will the chief be involved in the lockdown drill?
Yes, actually, our goal by the end of this year is to make sure that chief and his police department have made it around to every campus to assist with the lockdown. We've done, I believe, 3. We went to Salado, we went to John Glenn, and Highland Forest. And we had actually our emergency team was there too, myself and Mr. Toscano were there, and we actually had officers walked around with administrators, and they actually went into the rooms, talked to the kids, explained that if this were not a drill, we couldn't get you out, we asked you to put your hands up, we had you walk out, the officers are your friends, they're going to help you, kind of thing. So that's been a really great thing. And so now that we're rolling out Alice, we're going to be figuring out, we're going to need them to kind of figure out what we do with walking out those.
I think it's a good idea to do a lockdown.
You're exactly right. Yes.
Anyone else? We've spoken specifically up here about the secondary school principals working with consistent application. When do you plan on driving that down into the other schools? Because I doubt that all of a sudden at secondary school, we have kids that just jump up and that's the first time they've ever been home.
So when it does occur at the elementaries, we are fairly consistent with how we handle it. They're the littler, the more impressionable. The assistant principal and the counselor are generally working together with those students. And we're able to, it happens, it honestly does happen less. We have it reported it's a lot less.
Right, so consistency is needed at, okay.
That's why we have a lot fewer reports at the elementaries.
I appreciate it. Is that the end of this? Okay. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So, in addition to following through on all of these action plans, we just wanted to let y'all know, moving forward, what the plan is. We do want to produce a report for the community in print and digital format. Not as lengthy as what you got in your board packet, but we do want to identify and with input from you what we would want to put on this community report to get out there to people. So we are wanting to get that done by the beginning of the school year, so that because this is a community-based accountability system, so we want to produce something to share with the community also. So that's one of our plans going forward. We are going to reconvene the committee to develop the remaining 4 pillars. We did 3 this year. We want to develop the remaining 4 pillars. And so we'll be getting them back together starting in August and hoping to have all of that done following a similar process to what we did this year, so that we can bring the new pillars to you in January for those to be adopted. And then this time next year, we will do our annual report. However, I do want to say that this is meant to be more of a living process. We want to give periodic updates throughout the year when it's appropriate. When we get information and updates on all the things that we talked to you about tonight, we want to report it to you then and not waiting to do just a report at the end of the year. So that is our goal, to make it more of an ongoing process reporting to you.
Thank you. For those of you who have just been able to view what's up here, I will tell you that there are literally 100 pages in here of supporting documentation for that. So all the statistics are there. It's a very comprehensive report, and I'm just thrilled at the adoption of the pillars by staff. It seems to have been well received across the board. And as we promised over the last year, we spent a lot more time on what our community was than what the state was. And that's very impressive to me. And I know there have been some ahas in here, and I know there have been some uh-ohs in here. And the good news is you've got some stuff to look at and say, we need to look at that a little bit further. This was a good one, let's look at something else. So I'm just absolutely thrilled with the work that's been done. Okay, so now we will move on to the ESSA Consolidated Federal Grant Application.
So trustees, we submit this application every year under the Every Child, Every Student rather Succeeds Act. There's a federal grant program that includes several entitlement grants. familiar, Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV, Parts A, C, E, etc. Districts required to reasonably and strategically utilize these resources in an effort to add or enhance or increase or extend opportunities for students. These funds cannot be used to replace or provide services that are already required or being provided by the district per statute. And our requirement is just to share with you that the grant application must be submitted by July 1, and that it is readily available for review in the superintendent's office by the board.
Review of EIA local.
Trustees, this is a local board policy that we're bringing to you today for a first read. We'll review this over the next month. I'm happy to answer your questions throughout the month. We'll be bringing it back to you next month for consideration. I do want to point out that the policy is there for you on page 80, and it has a very minor change. This particular policy speaks to progress grade, student grades, and progress reporting. What staff is wanting you to consider is that currently progress reporting per this policy says that the district shall issue grade reports or report cards every 9 weeks on a form approved by the superintendent. What we're recommending is that the district shall issue grade reports every 3 weeks on a form approved by the superintendent, and that the district shall issue report cards at the end of each semester. So essentially, we're currently on a 9-week grading cycle, and every 3 weeks students get progress reports. What we know is that the way standards are taught is they don't end at 9 weeks, they continue to be taught. And so actually a student's mastery or learning is really more accurately reflected over a longer continuum of time. And then staff through a district level committee that gets feedback and meets monthly and discusses some of the challenges with grades in our grading system in an effort to improve it, to be more accurate reflection of what kids really have achieved and what they can really learn. Have recommended that the district consider reporting progress every 3 weeks throughout the year, but a formal report card will go out once at the end of the fall semester and once at the end of the year, so that then you're more likely going to see a true representation of what students achieve and what they learn. This does not affect UIO eligibility at all. Those requirements stay exactly the same. They gain or lose after the first 6 weeks, and then they can regain if they lost after the next 3, and so on and so forth. So this is something that I'd be happy to discuss more with you throughout the next month. Individually, collectively, I can share with you more specific information about why the committee came to this conclusion and why they're recommending this as something that would be beneficial in advancing our student achievement and using our grading systems and tools for that.
Forward to some of those discussions.
Sir?
All right, next item is construction update.
So,
Toscano, board members, once again, you have an exciting presentation to look forward to on the construction update. And tonight's exciting not only because we're beginning to see completion at the phase 1 projects, which we'll be looking at in just a moment, and even some of the portions of phase 2. But probably more importantly, we're the next to last superintendent's report. This evening, as part of the update, I know that there was some concerned by the board at the last meeting about completion dates on the Phase 1 projects, the traditional elementary school and the Gary Patterson Center for Performing Arts. And so tonight we have Tommy Guido, Diane Guido, and Russell Wilson from Guido Brothers Construction. They're going to give you an update on how they're doing on that project. Also, Mark Opel from LPA here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and turn this portion over to Ms. Guido. If you don't mind, they are going to need to leave right after the meeting, this portion. Thank you.
Members of the board, Mr. Toscano, Mr. Bryant, thank you for having us here tonight. I know that the completions of these schools are very important to the community and to the board, and we understand obviously the concern. It's always difficult when you're waiting for schools to get done. So I'm here with some good news tonight to tell you that we're going to do it. So I'm going to give you just some brief slides here. Quite tired, I can see that. We have had some challenges, obviously. We had 40 rainy Mondays, 7 inches of rain along in December. We had some project enhancements, moving and stubbers, good day, drainage. We had some substrate, wood panel, cattle product, some civil enhancements. We've also had some very challenging delays with some of our subcontractors for business construction and roads and companies. Just solve these problems, we have supplemented subcontractors. We began working 6 days a week after the rain delays in December. In March, we started working 7 days a week. In April, we began to work extended and double shifts. We were 6:30 in the morning to 9 at night, sometimes even to 1 in the morning. So we feel very confident that the schools will be open. Obviously, it's not going to open on June 6th, which was the initial schedule. But I think we worked very closely as a team with Mr. Selby and LPA, and we feel confident that this is our schedule to get the FFB installed. For the day, we'll have the kitchen cafeteria by July 15th. We'll review the administration offices also July 15th. The library will be ready July 21st. Kindergarten and pre-K July 21st. Building D, two-story classroom building July 15th. Gymnasium July 15th. This is to get the FFB installed and ready. We'll complete the landscape on August 10th. We'll complete our training on the 15th. And we're building the available to teach community on August 15th, which is 2 weeks to set up the classrooms. There's just a few photos of our current progress on the school, on the site, about paving in, sidewalks, striping. As we have long rains, the playground is in, we've got good middle in, it's hay going on in the rear. This is a breakout hallway, near completion, we've got time for us to paint our office. The floors are polished and protected. This is a typical classroom, the door is installed, we have the blinds in this classroom floor, the doors, going to bathrooms, partitions are in, protection on the floor, we're not done on the cleaning office yet. This is looking into the administration offices, gymnasium floors in, walls, lighting, finish ceiling, kitchen, equipment has been installed, and we have them floors and surfaces and all protected. The stage floor is in. So on the Performing Arts Center, this is smaller, this is not quite as far along, but it's a smaller area to complete. And we have delay in trying to help locate the existing utilities, revenue delays. We've had a very serious problem with the last place contract July 21st, we will turn over the drum choir room. July 28th, we will have renovated the event hall ready. August 6th, classrooms will be ready. August 18th, we will have parade. Here are a few pictures of ceiling grids in, fire protection, lighting, and these are just waiting to do these other inspections to start out the tile. This is the northwest corner, building, grade, working, consistently moving around the building to get all sidewalks and curbs and approaches in. These are clouds being installed in the auditorium. This is the pantry yard is near completion. This is the first room, this is a room with an open ceiling. Finish has finished over the paint, it's getting ready to drop the light fixtures on that slit. The choir room is being finished out. Had to install wood stairs and polish, so we're waiting for concrete polish and final paint. It's nice. This weekend, we're going to have all the scaffolding down, risers are down, paint, carpet, and install the seating. That's great. This is looking for the small ensemble building, this is office, choir room. This is the theater room, we install a Texas ceiling, fire sphere, to the catwalk. These are the second floor restroom, and the first floor family room. We install a fixture for tiles and, so again, this is the one downstairs. That concrete polish structure. Yes, ma'am. So, that is our status and no concern. We're here to address any questions you might have.
Question?
The dates that you put up there, are those the dates that you promised? You said that,
Sorry?
the dates that you put up there on completion, are those the dates that you promised?
Were these the original dates that we
Right.
No.
Oh, I fall apart.
I think the elementary school originally had a June 6th date, yes. And the performing arts, July 1.
I do appreciate you coming out, and yes, we still do have significant concerns. We appreciate you coming out and telling us what you've done. But I will tell you that I still have concerns about completion in time for us to get into those facilities and get kiddos learning. So, thank you very much. Appreciate y'all coming out. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add, just to help rectify, we have about 175 people working at elementary school every day. And we have about 75 to 80 working at the path every day. So it does look like there's a lot of work that has to be done, but there's also a lot of people engaged. I just wanted to know.
And I appreciate that. I really do. You know, unfortunately, I've been in the construction business for 43 years. And I know that you can't build a million work-hour project in 1 hour with 1 million people. So throwing people in the problem doesn't really help sometimes. Because I will tell you, I was on a project up in Chesapeake, Virginia, where we actually had people waiting in line to work on a unit. And yeah, we had 600 people on that project, but there were only 300 of them working at any one time, because the other 400 were standing behind them, waiting for their turn in that spot. So, I do appreciate the effort. I appreciate you coming out here and telling us about it, and we've got some dates now that we can plan around. It's going to cut us pretty short, moving into some of these facilities. We'll scramble, we'll make it happen. With the dates that you've given us, we think that we can make that. So, again, I appreciate y'all coming out. So, thank you. So, Mr. Sylvie, jump back up there again, so I'm sure that we're not through with the discussion of that.
I've seen his photos and they're not as good.
Were you part of that 63%, sir, or readily Question back on that. So do they plan on continue to work those hours too?
Yeah, until they get
So they do that?
But Mr. Ryan is correct, that there's a certain point at where you hit a threshold that you're diminishing returns on that. But they have been, they are making great efforts to coordinate those trades so that as one's completing an area, the other is coming in. Where they can have more than one trade in that area at the same time, but there's other times where it doesn't make sense. It doesn't do any good to have the ductwork going in if you don't have the supplies or anything else to go with it, or they haven't finished putting up the steel and all the other stuff. So that's why when they mention certain contractors or subcontractors cause some delays, in particular in both cases, but in particular at the Performing Arts Center, the steel subcontractor and the glass subcontractor did delay. But they did make great efforts to supplement those credits.
How long did it take them that to supplement those? Did they just get other subcontractors or did
They
they?
literally went out and got other subcontractors to come in and take over some of that.
But after what point though? After,
Whenever it was clear that it was performing, and then of course we tried to give them some opportunity to come in right away. But the reference things, and you can always go through and debate whether or not they did it as quickly as they should. But they did make those. And the purpose of this wasn't to go through and give a presentation, and certainly for me to go back and try to debate the point. And there's some things that I certainly think we could clarify more even than we needed to. But the real point here is that I think in these particular projects, if they meet these dates, and tradition, I feel confident they will. In the Performing Arts Center, they have very good opportunity to get their performance. We will continue to work with them. The LPA continues to have people out there at each of those projects, not daily, but almost about 2 or 3 times a week. And we do have our own quality assurance folks that are out there. We've moved the emphasis of that oversight to the PAC because the tradition really is coming together and will be ready for the course whenever we get in there. But we should be able to get in there. It will be tight. Every project we do, very tight. It's always going to be done. so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this unless you have other questions dealing with tradition or the act. I'm going to move on. I did want to show off one of my photographs. I think that's excellent.
Questions for you on traditions in the pack before we move forward. Do we have a critical path schedule from them for the rest of the project that we can say, you told us you were going to be done on Thursday, it's Friday, they're not done?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now, let's move on to your exceptional picture.
That's very creative. That's a panoramic view.
That is.
This is not so dramatic, but it's similar to what we don't have. But it's the gym and the show you a couple of times. The pack, this was early in the morning. I think just from the little light that we had available there, because it's under construction, what you're going to find is just kind of like with the, whenever this is completed and all the lights are on, it's going to be a beautiful building during the day, but especially at night, I think it's going to be. And I just wanted to kind of show a little hint of that. I'm trying to be creative. And this is the work that's going on. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this because I know she would go through a lot of this same stuff. So what I will do is spend a little bit of time on the phase 2 portion of the whole bond in the sense that that's the additions and renovations at Salado, Harmony, Con Valley, and Sinclair. The additions at Salado are very near completion. It's just the current condition of the south addition. A tremendous amount of demolition has taken place at Salado. It looks like a war zone in certain areas. The gym is under demolition, but also being put back together already. There's a lot of work as far as site work that's taking place. And so it's coming along. The work, so the additions and renovations under phase 1, including the gymnasium, will be completed by the mid part and latter part of July, and we'll have delivery of that. The other phases that are scheduled for delivery before school starts will be turned over to us also very tight. It'll be somewhere towards August 15th, just because there's so much work to be done there. But we also knew that was going to be very well. Harmony phase 1, the addition is completed. It's a little bit different angle than you've seen before. I thought that was a good shot of that new addition. We have moved, started moving furniture in there and have a certificate of occupancy. The areas that are under phase 2 are under demolition right now. You can see what it looks like when they start tearing it out. The one on the right, we do have a lot of that already pulled out of the area. Con Valley, you have the addition. You can see there's an awful lot of construction taking place in the parking lot, but the addition itself is near completion. That should be turned over to us by the beginning of July. We have, besides the parking lot on the left, you can see that that's getting ripped out. The new fire lane has already been asphalted. They're going to be moving on this. This should be probably beginning asphalting, I would think, by the end of the month. On the right, we had a lot of abatement that had to take place. That's why you see those weird little plastic things, tubes coming out. That's part of the native air supply that they had to pull all of that stuff out of there into a filter. But most of the abatement has been completed and the contractors are doing the rest of the demolition and they will do in those areas. Sinclair, the addition, once again, a little bit different view than what you've seen before, but that was a very nice view. But that has been turned over to us also. They also have certificate of completion on that. Addition as well as have some items moved. Sinclair also is under demolition in the areas that are scheduled for that in phase 2. Demolition is getting close to an end in some areas. We have some abatement that we still need to do there, but that is unscheduled. All of these are. John Glenn Annex, we're in the design phase. We have planned to meet next week to look at the design and create a design that LPA is putting together on that. And that'll continue. We won't really, we'll be completing the design on that by the end of the summer. We'll come back to you for delivery method on that and around that time, and then we'll go out and secure proposals on that and come back to starting construction on that in the fall of 2018. And CBC haven't really started on that. So that is the update that for the bond program, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Mr. Silver?
Thank you.
Great pictures, Mr. Silver.
Thank you.
I enjoyed those. There are some really nice views that are going to be around at some of the schools.
Yeah.
It's really going to make a huge difference. All right. Item H, upcoming events.
Trustees, just a couple of things to point out in your June-July calendar. Speaking of calendars, I believe all of you have in your miscellaneous folder a calendar from the high school art department. They wanted to showcase some of the fantastic student art that had been recognized, most of which throughout the state this year. So I did want to point that out on their behalf. In July, the week of July 4th, the district will go to 8-hour days because of the July 4th holiday. So we'll be closed on Wednesday, July 4th, but the other 4 days that week we'll work 8 hours as opposed to the 10 that we've been on. Also want to point out that on July 11th, we have tentatively scheduled, actually we have scheduled a budget workshop for the board, special meeting. So if you mark your calendar and check your availability, 5:30 on July 11th here in the boardroom, we'll have our annual budget workshop. Your next regularly scheduled meeting is July 19th. And the district will return to the 5-day regular work week, 8-hour days, the last week of July.
Well, that was a lot quicker than the previous ones. School must be out. All right, moving on to item 7, our action agenda. Item A is approval of delegates to the TASB Convention 2018. Do we have anyone who wishes to volunteer to be a delegate?
I'll do it.
All right. Then, do we have anyone who wishes to be an alternate? I count on you, Mr. Gardner.
I'm going to say you're all very trusting.
Yes, sir. All right. Then the chair will make a motion to appoint Mr. Garza as our delegate to the 2018 TASB Convention. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Mulkey. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item B, proposals for HVAC testing, adjusting and balancing services at Salado Intermediate, Harmony, Pecan Valley, and Sinclair Elementary School. Mr. Toscano, please.
So trustees, it's a requirement to comply with mechanical plans in the design and construction specifications. The district has solicited proposals for HVAC system testing, adjusting, and balancing services at Salado, Harmony, Pecan Valley, and Sinclair. The attached proposals are from Testing Specialties Incorporated. TSI is a professional service and therefore does not require competitive bids. Selection is based on qualifications. Testing Specialties Incorporated has met those qualification requirements. The scope of the work will exceed $50,000 and therefore needs board approval. You have to answer the questions for you.
Any questions for Mr. Toscano?
Is this something that's required?
Yes, sir. It is required.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I recommend Testing Specialties Incorporated to perform testing, adjusting, and balancing services of the heating, ventilation, air, and air conditioning for additions and renovations at Salado Intermediate School, Harmony, Pecan Valley, and Sinclair Elementary Schools as described in the attached proposal.
Thanks, sir. We have a recommendation by the superintendent to accept Testing Specialists Incorporated to perform our testing, adjusting, and balancing. Chair will entertain a motion. Have a motion by Mr. Feller, is there a second? A second by Mr. Garza. Any questions, comments? If not, question. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. On our consent agenda, does anyone wish to have an item pulled from the consent agenda? If not, Chair will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Have a motion by Mr. Garza, is there a second? Have a second by Mr. Feller. The consent agenda is approved via unanimous consent. Before you, does anyone have